Welcome to video 6 of the Instructional Design video series. This video will provide an overview of the best practices for developing content within Fansha Online to help guide course developers as well as other stakeholders within the Faculty of Business, Information Technology, and Part-Time Studies. By the end of this training, you'll be able to, number 1, complete a 4-step process for developing content within Fansha Online. Number 2, describe how to arrange a 3-panel layout for each module within Fansha Online. And number 3, identify other best practices for developing content within Fansha Online. This video will be broken down into the following parts. Part 1, Introduction to Demo Site within Fansha Online. Part 2, 4-step process for developing content within Fansha Online. Part 3, FOL standard module template, which refers to a 3-panel layout. And Part 4, Other Best Practices for Developing Content within Fansha Online. To navigate to each section, you may use the chapter markers or timestamps within the timeline of the video. Part 1, Introduction to Demo Site within FOL. Congratulations on completing Phase 1, or the design phase for your curriculum development. Now you are ready to start Phase 2, which is developing or building out the content within Fansha Online. During the design phase, if you're working on Type A1 or A2 curriculum development, you are able to leverage the Course Development Plan, or CDP, available within your individual Microsoft Teams site to ensure that there is alignment between your lesson level objectives and the course level outcomes. As part of this mapping process, you also had the opportunity to brainstorm what content you would like to include within each module, as well as the activities and assessment pieces that will help the instructor measure the student's achievement of the learning outcomes. If you're working on a Type B curriculum development, where you're only making small revisions to the existing content, you may not have utilized the CDP document very much. And this is okay as long as you have taken the necessary time to map out how your changes or revisions stay in alignment with the overall course level outcomes. Regardless of the type of curriculum development that you have been assigned, it is highly recommended that you reach out to your instructional designer to review your design before you move on to Phase 2, which is building out or developing content within Fansha Online. Now that you have consulted with your instructional designer, this video will outline a 4-step process to help guide you through Phase 2, or the development phase within Fansha Online. The 4-step process is outlined on this slide. While taking you through the 4 steps of the development process, this video will also take you inside a demo site that has been set up to showcase how the content will look before, during, and after a revamp of existing content, which, as shown on this slide, fits the A2 classification as far as curriculum development. The content for this demo site has been taken from Module 1 of a fictional course called Cloud Computing and Security. This will provide a great reference or exemplar for all course developers at Fansha. To ensure that you have access to this exemplar, the content for this fictional Cloud Computing and Security course has been copied into the Instructional Design Support demo site. This link has been included within the description of this video. If you don't have access to this demo site, please reach out to your instructional designer. After you gain access to the demo site called Instructional Design Support, click on the Content subtab from within the main nav bar. Inside the content, you will notice that the QM blueprint has been copied into this site, which was detailed within Video 5 of the Instructional Design video series. If you scroll down to the bottom of the list of contents, you will notice that there is a module called Original Layout of Module 1 before the revamp. When you click into this module, you'll find the original content that has been copied over from Module 1 of the Cloud Computing and Security course. This is the content that the course developer is tasked to revamp using the QM blueprint. As you go through this Module 1 content within the original layout, you'll notice how difficult it is to navigate through, which really impacts the quality of the course as well as the accessibility of the content. Basically, the existing setup of the content is one long list of activities, which unfortunately provides minimal scaffolding for students as to what they are required to do to complete this module. Part 2, 4-step process for developing content within Fansha Online. Now that you have seen the existing content for Module 1 for the Cloud Computing and Security course within the demo site, this video will now take you through each of the 4 steps, which were identified earlier, to show you how this content can be revamped. Let's start by completing Step 1. Step 1. is to transfer all files and documents from the individual team site into the FOL course site that has the QM blueprint copied into it. In most cases for an A2 revamp, you'll be starting with a brand new FOL shell or site to give you a fresh start and then manually copying content from the old site into the new site. For this revamp, we'll be using the demo site. To demonstrate how to transfer files and documents into an FOL site, let's go into the individual team site that has been set up for cloud computing and security. When you click into this individual team site, you'll notice how the project folder has been copied into it, which was detailed in video 4 of the instructional design video series. For example, when you click into the project folder and click into module 1, you will see that in the subfolder for the PowerPoint, there is a PowerPoint which the course developer has created for module 1. To transfer this project folder into Fanch Online, all you need to do is to go back to your project folder, click on the 3 horizontal dots, and click on Download. This will zip all the contents within your project folder so that you can save it to your desktop. After the course developer saves the zip file, he or she is then able to go into the Manage Files from within any FOL site to upload the zip file. For this demonstration, let's import the zip file to the demo site. To do so, click on Course Admin and then go into the Manage Files. From within Manage Files, all you need to do is simply go to Upload, click on the gray Upload button, locate the zip file, and simply click on Open and Save. As you scroll through your Manage Files, you'll be able to locate the zip file from within a list of items. Next, click on the drop-down arrow next to the zip file and on Zip. You will now be able to locate the project folder within your Manage Files. When you open the project folder, you will notice that the arrangement of the subfolders is exactly the same as it was within the individual team site. When you click into Module 1 and into the PowerPoint subfolder, you'll notice that the same PowerPoint is now available for the course developer within Fanch Online. Step 2. Go into each module within your Fanch Online course and create a Resources submodule. For this demonstration, we will first expand the Modules folder within the table of contents. Here you'll see a list of all the modules that have been inserted within this folder. I'm going to drag Module 1 so that it resides outside of this Modules folder. An explanation for dragging Module 1 outside of the Modules folder will be provided at the end of the video. For now, let's click on the table of contents to refresh the page. Here you will notice that Module 1 is now an independent folder within the table of contents. Next, click into Module 1. Here you'll notice that the QM Blueprint has a Module 1 webpage ready for the instructor to develop content within, and a Module 1 checklist. What you'll need to do next is add a submodule and call it M1 Resources. Hit the Enter key. This completes step number 2. Step 3. Add all the items to your Resources submodule that you plan to use within each module. For this demo, let's complete this step for Module 1 of the Cloud Computing and Security course. You'll notice that when you go back to the table of contents, that this module has now been renamed Module 1 A Walk in the Clouds, and in parentheses it says Prototype. When you click into this module, you'll see how all the resources that are being used for this module have been added to the Resources submodule. Let's go ahead and add the PowerPoint for Module 1 that is saved within the Manage Files of this site. To do so, click on the blue Upload button and then Add from Manage Files. Here you can locate the project folder that we uploaded during step 1. We can navigate to Module 1 and locate the PowerPoint for Module 1. Here we are going to add to the Resources section. There you'll see it at the bottom of the list. You can drag these up or down depending on the order that you'd like them to appear within the resources section. I'll drag that to the top. This completes step 3. Step 4. Build out the main HTML page within each module, linking out to those items that you have pre-populated within the resources section. For this demo, let's complete step 4 for module 1 of the Cloud Computing and Security course. To do so, let's click into module 1 and then open the HTML page, which is where the students will find the main content. Here you'll notice that the course developer has gone in and inserted an introduction, the lesson level objectives, as well as the list of activities that the students are required to complete. You'll also notice that there are links inserted which direct students to the list of resources that were inserted into the resources submodule during step 3. For example, when students click on discussion 1, this activity opens within a new tab. To go back to the main content or HTML page, all the students have to do is close this new tab. To add a link from this HTML page to your resources submodule, all you have to do is go to the top of the page, click on the drop-down menu, click on Edit HTML, go down to the section of the content where you'd like to insert the hyperlink. For this example, I'm going to choose the title of the PowerPoint. Next, all you need to do is click on the chain or insert quick link icon. This time you want to go to Content instead of adding from Manage Files. When you click on Content, you'll be able to find the Module 1 prototype that we've renamed. From here, click on the M1 Resources submodule, where we added all the resources during Step 3. Locate the PowerPoint. Click on the PowerPoint, and then you'll see that the hyperlink has now been included. If you want to edit this link, you can click on it, and then you can click back on the Insert Quick Link. Here you'll have the options to open that in a new window or in a new tab. I want to update, and then I want to save and close. This completes step 4. Going back to module 1, you'll notice that the checklist has been added to the resource section, so only the main content is residing outside of the resource section. Part 3, FOL Standard Module Template. Congrats on making it through the 4-step process for developing content within FOL. During this time, you may have noticed that the arrangement of the content looks similar to the image on this slide, where the main content, or HTML web page, is panel 2. And the items added to the resources submodule make up panel 3. The only other panel to discuss is panel 1, which is the description field, which is optional for course developers. The description field allows the opportunity to provide a short intro for each module. Please note that the description field is not viewable while using the Brightspace Pulse app, which is a mobile app for students. Therefore, if you add content to the description field, make sure any important information is also contained within the main content or HTML web page. To add a description for panel 1, all you need to do is hover underneath the Add Dates and Restrictions and click on the blue bar or the blue highlight, and then simply type in your description. Don't forget to click on the blue Update button. Now you'll notice that you have the 3 panels as described before in this video. Part 4. Other best practices for developing content within Fanshawe Online. Number 1. Use of consistent naming conventions to enhance organization and coherence. Within the red highlighted box, you'll see some exemplars for some naming conventions that not only improve navigation for students, but also accessibility. Number 2. Adding links. Links for the main navigation from one section of the course to the other should be set to open in the same frame, whereas links to the module resources subsection should be set to open in a new window, as described earlier in this video. The last part of this video will explain 2 different module layouts within the table of contents. The 3-panel layout explained in this video is only available if each of the modules is an independent item or folder within the table of contents. For example, when I click into Module 1, A Walk in the Clouds, you'll notice that I have the 3-panel layout. The description field, the main content, and a resource section. Let's refresh the table of contents. Now, when I click into the modules folder, which contains the rest of the modules 2 to 12, you'll notice that the arrangement of content is a little different. You will notice that a resource submodule has been added for module 2, but there hasn't been one added for module 3. To add a resources submodule for module 3, you will have to go to the bottom of the page to create it. And then, once it's created, you'll have to drag it up to module 3. After you insert the M3 resources, you'll be able to drag the checklist down underneath into the resources subsection or submodule. Given this layout, there are a few disadvantages. The first is that you're only able to have one description field. The second one is that students will have to scroll through all of the module content to find the module that they want to go into. Whereas if it's available within the table of contents, it's much easier to click into. If you aren't sure which option is better for you, make sure to have a discussion with your instructional designer who will be able to guide you in the right direction. Thank you for watching.